I'm going to explain how you're going to be learning your times tables in year 3 and actually for the rest of Key Stage 2. And the goal of this method is for you to become really confident with your multiplication facts so that you know all of them from memory, not having to count to recall any of them or to work any of them out. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to learn them by chanting the times tables. And to do that, we'll use a steady rhythm and we'll say what the teacher has said to us. So to practice, I, or Mr. Bucock or Miss Harrington, would say 2 2s are 4. And then we would pause and everyone in the class, not most people, everyone in the class would reply 2 2s are 4. So I'm going to go through the first 5 times table facts and we're just going to practice, and I'll say one and I'll pause long enough so that while you're watching the video you can also join in, and we'll keep the rhythm going, so keep joining in until I stop. Okay? 2 2s are 4. 3 2s are 6. 4 2s are 8. 5 2s are 10. 6 2s are 12. 2 2s are 4. 2 2s are 4. 3 2s are 6. 3 2s are 6. And we would carry on like that, practicing them so that we could really confidently just remember the fact, for example, 5 2s are 10, so that if I get the question 5 times 2, I know it's 10, but also at the same time I need to be learning that while 5 2s are 10, also 2 5s are 10. So it's really important that we remember that when we're learning these facts, we always say the largest number first. So in our 2 times table, the only one that actually starts with 2 is 2 times 2. The rest of the facts that we'll learn by saying 3 2s are 6 or 7 2s are 14. We'll never say 2 7s. So if the question says 2 times 7, the fact that I'm going to recall in my brain is 7 2s are 14, not, oh, what's 2 times 7? So it's really important that while we're practicing these, we're always saying the largest number first. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in a minute. So then once we've practiced them every day in year 3 and in year 4, you will practice in your own times table booklet. So the front cover will look something like this, and you'll put your name on it. And then inside the booklet, there are little quizzes that look like these, and you can see that every single question within this booklet relates to the 2 times table. And so all of the questions that are at the start of the booklet, these first few quizzes, are all to do with just these first 5 times table facts. So 2 2s are 4, 3 2s are 6, 4 2s are 8, 5 2s are 10, and 6 2s are 12. All of those facts are the only ones you need to answer all of these questions. And so if I go down the list, I can see that this one says 6 times 2 equals. And so the fact that I need to remember to work that one out, or not to work that one out, sorry, to remember, is 6 2s are 12, not, oh, what's 6 times 2? And I'll count in 2s, it's 12. Because that takes a really long time, and then I'm never giving my memory a chance to just remember that 6 2s are 12. And then if I go a little bit further down, this question says 2 times 6. Well, I need to quickly switch my brain to thinking, oh, I know, I always say the largest number first. So this one is 6 2s are 12 as well. And so if you look down, you'll see that the question 6 times 2 or 2 times 6 actually comes up a lot in all of this, in this particular quiz. And so we should become really confident really quickly with all these different facts. while you're practicing them, it's really important that you're really regularly saying the facts. And I'm going to explain now how it works for these division questions, how it works for our chanting, for our times tables, and then how it works for us working them out. Okay, so now we're going to look at the inside of the booklet and concentrate just on these division questions. Now, when we've been learning about division in year 2, we've looked at questions like this and read this as being 4 divided into groups of 2 equals some groups. And we work out how many groups of 2 we can make with 4 things. And we might have done that by going, okay, well, I'll count in 2s and I'll stop when I get to 4, 2, 4, or I can make 2 groups. And then I would have a question like this: 8 divided into groups of 2 equals some groups. And again, I might go, okay, yeah, counting in 2s, I'll stop when I get to 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, and that will be 4 groups. Now, both of those I counted, and I don't want to count. I want to use my memory, and I want to use my chanting and my memory of all these facts to help me answer them. So actually, the question 4 divided into groups of 2 equals, when we're practicing chanting that, the teachers will actually say, 2s of 4. 2s of 4. And again, the pause in between was for children to join in. The difference is you won't say you'll say how many 2s are 4. So in this case it would be 2s are 4, and all the children would say 2 2s are 4. And this one would be 2s are 8, and you would say 4 2s are 8. 2s are 8, 4 2s are 8. 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4. 2s are 6, 3 2s are 6. 2s are 8, 4 2s are 8. 2s are 10, 5 2s are 10. 2s are 10, 5 2s are 10. And so we're always linking the fact back to the multiplication fact that we have in our memory. We're not thinking of these really as being division questions, but we're making the link between multiplication and division and using the fact that we know. So hopefully you're getting the hang of how all this works. This one that says number 1 would be the very first quiz in your booklet, and the first part of the booklet only covers 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times and 6 times, and that's true with every times table you learn. So when you're learning your 5 times tables, it will only be 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 that you're learning in the first part of the booklet. Then you'll learn 7, 8 and 9 in the second part of the booklet. Then in the third part of the booklet you'll be practicing all of the questions. And then in the fourth part of the booklet, once you've done more than one booklet, you will be going through all of the times tables from the booklet you've been practicing and any other ones that you've learned up till then. So let's say that you're learning your 3 times table. The very last part of the 3 times table booklet will cover all of the 3 times table, but it would also cover 5 times table and 2 times table questions because you would have learned them by then. So we're always practicing the things that we already know. So I'm going to go through the entire quiz. There are 40 questions and you will get 2 minutes to do it. Now it might take a little bit longer than 2 minutes just now because I'm going to say every question, but 2 minutes is actually plenty time to get all of these done once you're confident with the facts. It isn't enough time to get all of them done if you have to count. So the only way you can get through all 40 is by really regular practice, which is why we're going to practice them really regularly at school. So I'm going to say every question, all 40 of them, and I will pause in between, and I want you to join in as you're watching the video. Okay, so for the division ones, you'll remember I will say something like 2s are 4, and you would chant back 2 2s are 4. And for the multiplication ones, I will say 2 2s are 4, and you would say 2 2s are 4. You just need to remember that when I get to questions like this, I'm going to say 6 2s are 12. I'm not going to say 2 6s are 12. I'm going to say 6 2s are 12. Okay, so I'll say it, then you chant the answer or repeat if it's a multiplication question back to me. Okay, ready? 2s are 4. 2 2s are 4. 6 2s are 12. 3 2s are 6. 6 2s are 12. 4 2s are 8. 2 2s are 4. 6 2s are 12. 4 2s are 8. 6 2s are 12. 2s are 8. 2 2s are 4. 4 2s are 8. 3 2s are 6. 2s are 8. 5 2s are 10. 6 2s are 12. 3 2s are 6. 2s are 12. 6 2s are 12. 2s are 4. 2s are 6. 4 2s are 8. 3 2s are 6. 6 2s are 12. 6 2s are 12. 3 2s are 6. 4 2s are 8. 2 2s are 4. 4 2s are 8. 2s are 8. 2 2s are 4. 4 2s are 8. 3 2s are 6. 2s are 10. 4 2s are 8. 2s are 10. 3 2s are 6. 6 2s are 12. 5 2s are 10. And that would be the end. Now, normally, a teacher wouldn't be chanting them as you go through them, but I wanted you to hear every single question, because I want you to think what should be going on in my head when I'm looking at each question on the quiz. The other thing I want you to know is that while you're doing these quizzes and these practices, the questions and the answers will be on the board and displayed around the learning zone. So while you're doing your 2 times table booklet and going through all the questions, there will be on the wall in the learning zone, and there will be on the screen at the front of the learning zone, all of these times table facts. And the purpose of that is because if I'm going through the booklet and I get to the question, 2 times 5, I can't remember it, we don't want counting. Counting's a great way to practice beginning to learn your times tables. Knowing them is the way to learn your times tables. So what we would want you to do then is actually to look at the board and see, it says 5 times 2 is 10, so I know the answer to 2 times 5 is 10, and I'll just write that down. I'm not going to count, I'm going to try and use my memory, and if I can't remember it, I'm going to look at the board. So if the question said, for example, 12 divided by 2, and I couldn't remember it, I would look for, yes, I remember, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I would look then for the whole, and then look for the parts that make up that division and multiplication fact. So we should never get to a question that we don't know, and we should never count while we're doing our times table quiz. And then the way it would work is the teachers would give you 2 minutes, so there'll be a timer. So I'm going to click this little go button down here, and the timer will run. And while the timer's running, you'll be busily doing all your times table questions in your booklet. And when the timer ends, the teacher would say stop, and you'd stop. And maybe you've done 15 questions the first time you do the booklet. And so your target the next time is to do more than 15 questions. If the next time you do 20 questions, then that's a huge improvement. And now there might be some people thinking, oh, well, I'm really good at my 2 times table. I think I'll better do all 40 questions in 2 minutes. And some of you definitely will. And eventually all of you definitely will. And so the reason that we have the timer is also so that if you do manage to do all 40 questions in 2 minutes, you can look at how much time was left when you finished. So let's say I'm going really quickly, I'm nearly at the end now. Okay, last few questions, a few more questions, and now I'm finished. I would look at the timer and it says 54, and I would write 54 on my paper, and then I know that my target the next time is to try and do it even faster, maybe with 60 seconds left or something like that. So we've always got a level that we can challenge ourselves at, and it doesn't matter what someone else is doing, because we've always got a personal best that we're aiming to beat every time we do a times table quiz. Okay, so having finished my 2 minutes, these are all the questions that I've managed to do. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 questions. So my target next time will be to try and get more than 16 questions. Maybe I'll set myself the challenge of saying, right, I'm going to get this first side done. Okay, and then we would mark them as a class, and we would mark them by chanting them again, because it's another opportunity for us to say what the times table fact is and therefore to practice them. So the teacher will take the lead on that, and then the children would chant back. So for the first question, we would say, 2's are 4, and the children would say, 2 2's are 4, and then we would say, 2 2's are 4, and the children would say 2 2's are 4, and so on. 6 2's are 12, 6 2's are 12, 3 2's are 6, 3 2's are 6, 6 2's are 12, 6 2's are 12, 4 2's are 8, 4 2's are 8. Now, I've made a mistake there. Never mind, that's okay, I'm still learning. So I would cross that one out and I would write 8 in. So while I was chanting it, 4 2's are 8, I could cross that out and write in 8 really quickly. And then that way I'm still practicing. So any that I've made a mistake on, I will correct as I go through. And then once we get down to here, and the teacher says, 6 2's are 12, guess what? You're going to write 12 in there. So you would say 6 2's are 12 and write 12 in as you go. And so while we're marking them, we're still practicing all of our times table facts, which means every day we'll practice them before we do the quiz, we'll practice them by doing the quiz, and we'll practice them by marking the quiz. And that's at least 3 times a day that you will be practicing your times tables. So if you're able to practice this method of learning during the summer holidays, that would be amazing. And it will really set you up well for the start of year 3. Because once you've learned how to learn your times tables this way, learning them is actually quite straightforward. So you will become an expert really quick, and as soon as you start in year 3, you'll be ready to get going with learning your times tables in this way. Now, the very last thing I want to mention, these are the 3 booklets that you will master in no time in year 3. And as I've said, there are lots of children who are confident with their 2's and 5's and 3's. And what we want is that every single child is confident with all of those times tables, so that they can all immediately recall the facts that are in these 3 booklets by the end of year 3. And that's why we continue to remind the children that it's great that they might be learning their 11 times table or their 9 times table, but actually to start with, these are the times tables we want them to learn. And the reason for that is because when we learn them in order, we quickly learn facts from other booklets. So you will notice on the 5 times table booklet, there's a gap at the top. And that's because when we learnt in our 2 times table 5 times 2. We already learnt that fact for our 5 times table booklet, so we don't need to learn that one again. It will be in the questions, but we'll already know it, and that's why we'll always say that larger number first, so that when we get to the 5 times table, we've already learnt 5 times 2. 5 2s are 10, and so that fact is already in our memory. And then when we get to our 3 times table, you can see there's even more facts that we already know. So we will know 3 2s are 6, and we'll also know 5 3s are 15. But then you can think, okay, well, when I get to my 9 times table, I'll already know 9 3s are 27. So when I get to the 9 times table booklet, the only new fact that you'll actually need to learn will be 9 9s are 81. You will already know every other fact by the time you get to them. So a little bit of practice now will go a really long way, and you'll soon recognise that actually learning the 2s, learning the 5s, learning the 3s really starts to teach you all of your other times table facts as well. So a little bit of practice over the summer, maybe even just a couple of minutes of the chanting each day, will really help children. And as I've said, starting on the 2 times table, even for children that think they are really confident with their 2 times table facts, is a great place to start, because to start with, we also want children to get used to how the times table booklet works and how they will be learning them. And so even if they're doing that with facts that they already know, that's great, because then they'll become familiar with the process of learning. So good luck. I hope everybody gets on really well with it, and look forward to seeing you in September, bright and full of loads of amazing times table multiplication table facts.